Hi there, welcome to our video log on organizational development, and we are focusing on leadership DNA part 3, that is integrity. I'm your host Zainal, and let's begin our journey on organizational development, leadership DNA part 3. So prospectively, if we were to question ourselves on integrity, okay, what is integrity? Where do we find integrity? How do we link integrity? Look at it as a house, a big house. Okay, the pillars are the structures that keep the house stable, and if the pillars were to crumble down, so does the house. Basically, when we talk about integrity, it's about that pillars within us, inside of us. Some people may say is the internal values, or some people may term it as your internal compass or your internal clock that puts you on the righteous pathway. I would say the lighthouse that shows you the way. And when we talk about integrity, it is a must for all leaders. Gentlemen and ladies, leadership is all about characters, and we have to build our characters accordingly to the leadership DNA. The first one that states drive and passion. If you want to be a leader, or if you want to develop leaders within your organization, look out for potential individuals that have that drive, energetic, and the passion to do things, to make things happen. Some term it as proactive. Simply means they go all the way to make things happen, regardless of obstacles or problem or issues that might arise. Hence, the drive and passion is the number one DNA or the internal values that one must possess. The second perspective, if we were to look apart from drive and passion, here comes, it says here, desire to lead. No one person can be a leader if they do not have that desire to lead others. You have to have it. It comes from within. We lead others with the heart, it says here. Hence, the difference that makes great leaders and just a simple ordinary leader comes on the DNA number 3, that is integrity. So it is a must for all leaders. When we talk about leadership, it doesn't come with title. Today you're a supervisor, tomorrow you're being promoted to be a manager. You do not automatically engage the leadership skills and attributes. Leadership has to be learned. Leadership comes through experience. You have to pick it up, breadcrumbs along the way, lessons in life on how to be great leaders. You have to read about successful leaders in life. One will have to pick it up along the way, as I've said, or learn it and develop it through experience, to training programs, reading books, and of course looking at biographies of great leaders in history. If you want to be great in leadership, make sure you learn about integrity. Apart from all other DNAs, integrity is the key thing in building characters of a leader. So let's begin and look at having integrity means that you live in accordance to your deepest values. Honesty. You're honest with everyone. You always keep to your words. Some says leaders walk their talk. So make sure that whatever you have promised, whatever you have said to your employees, make sure you fulfill it. These are the values that one refuses to compromise on, no matter what. Great leaders keep to their words. Leaders who demonstrate integrity, they garner trust among their colleagues, among their subordinates within the organization, and they are not afraid of the truth. They stand up for what they believe in. This in turn leads to loyal customers, loyal employees, increased profits, better world for all. And your integrity, in other words, determine one's reputation. We might have a few leaders within an organization, but what makes you to stand out from the others is your reputation. People talk about you, people believe in you, people trust you. Simple fact, because you respect others. There's always a word that says here, do not do unto others for what you do not like others to do unto yourself. That is a simple principle to begin your integrity. And there's a proverb that says, all it can take is a single bad choice to destroy a lifetime's worth of integrity. Just because you've been in an organization for so long, you forget about integrity, and the day you take the sidekick, you become off track. That's the day when all your effort of building your leadership characters, your leadership DNA falls into the drain, and you lost that greatest precious part of being a great leader, respect and trust of others. So there are things such as honesty, there are things such as showing up on time at work. Okay, you're the first one to knock on the door, you're the first one to open up the office, and you are always ready to do your work. Great leaders to be, they do not make promises that you cannot keep, and keep the ones you do. I would prefer, personally, not to make promises, but when the time comes, that's it, presto, I give it a surprise. Okay, you have been working with me for so many years, and I've seen your potential to be leaders. Let's transform you to be our future fit leaders in this organization. There is a structured program, and I have put up your name to develop you further. The best thing a leader can do to any of his or her subordinates within an organization is to groom them, is to grow them, is to develop them. Money are never enough. Rewards come, rewards goes. But growing them, when you cross their life's path, you make them to be better than who they were before. That's a great deal. And be honest about your shortcomings. Hey, look at it. We are not perfect. Great leaders, they are not perfect too. They make mistakes. But be honest about our shortcomings. If we make mistakes, there's always room to apologize. Nothing wrong with it. Okay? We are just a simple human being. But to be a great leader, there are such things as taking responsibility for your actions. We do not need leaders when they make mistake. They do not admit it, but they point the fingers to the team. They will say it is not their fault, it is this fella so and so's fault. This is not the character of great leaders. Everything begins with you. You begins everything. So take responsibility. Yes, I've made a wrong choice, I've made a wrong decision, but let's sit down and let's look for solution, not for others to be blamed. And uphold confidentiality. I've always said in my training programs, when we take a break and when we sit among colleagues, do not talk about people, because the moment we talk about people, we talk about other employees, it is always negative. Talk about tasks, talk about goals, talk about achievement, talk about mission, to how to accomplish the vision of the organization. These are the mindset of great leaders. Of course, great leaders, they set a good example. Remember this, lead by example. Be the example. Mahatma Gandhi says you can change the world if you only begin by changing yourself. So be the example, change ourselves. Technology change rapidly and organization change its direction. So welcome change, manage change positively, okay, get your teams up, drive them positively, and be accountable. Each and every one of us is accountable. Stand up for what's right, even if it means rocking the boat. Okay? And integrity boils down back to one's leadership DNA. As I mentioned earlier, it is your internal clock, it is your internal compass, your values that you hold true to yourself. What do we believe in? For me, when you walk with me, the number one thing is never ever lie, because lying is the door to greater negative things, greater sins. So be truthful. That's the number one thing that I hold dearly to myself. Okay, then it's about discipline. It's about being on time at work. These are the things, as I've mentioned, they are the internal values that we possess. When we have the values that we believe in, it always shows up in our action. So hence, integrity is very, very important. Let's begin. Take a piece of paper, a pen, okay? Write down 10 of your internal values. Pause. Do it now. Take a pen. Write it down. What are your 10 internal values? Okay. Your compass that points to the true north. Okay. Your internal values are your principles, are your compass that points to the true north. It makes you know what's right and what's wrong. And these internal values have to be in parallel with your organization's values. So take time, write it down. This is your personal principles in life, which will become your leadership DNA. But make sure it is positive, make sure that it is in parallel, in sync with your organizational values. But one thing about organizations' core values, normally we have vision pasted up on the wall. We have missions, our action to reach the vision. But most organizations, they forget about their core values. What is the purpose of writing out vision, of having mission, and missing core values? If your organization do not have your core values, take a break. Go for your strategic retreat, okay? Review your vision, your mission, and start to add in core values. Do not waste time, do not take time, because your workplace values are the guiding principles that are most important to you about the way you work in an organization. You use these deeply held principles to choose between right and wrong, between the culture of work, between the way we do work daily in the organization, and they guide important decisions and career choices. Now, integrity has a lot of link to our values, and values alignment helps the organization as a whole to achieve its core mission by providing a common purpose. What happens when values are out of alignment? What happens when the integrity of leaders is out of the workplace? When values and integrity are out of alignment, people work towards different goals, with different intentions, and with different outcomes. This can damage work relationship, productivity, job satisfaction, and creative potential. Encourage integrity, build integrity. People with integrity often have almost the same characteristic. They are respectful of others, they are humble, they have a strong sense of self, they have high self-esteem, and they're self-confident. These characteristics are important and they can be built. Okay, this is where we take a break for our first part of leadership DNA integrity. We'll be continuing on our next video blog on the organizational development, leadership DNA, integrity part 2. So keep a watch out on our next video log, and till then, Be safe and cheerio.